Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Joni Young and I'm going to teach you brand new tutorials weekly. I'm going to go over the brushes, the canvas, and the colors right now. This is an 11 by 14 primed canvas. A lot of you guys were asking how I primed it. This I purchased primed already. Most canvases come double primed. So if you have a canvas that is not primed yet, you can just use any acrylic paint. You can choose whatever color you want, white, black, red even. Have fun and play around with your underpaintings. And here are the brushes we're going to be using. A large blending brush, a flat brush. This is a number 6. We've got a number 12 Filbert brush. And we're going to also be using a little liner brush just for some little vines and branches for our flowers. So we'll go over the colors now. We're going to be using phthalo blue, light ultramarine blue, turquoise, white, magenta, neon red, lemon yellow. We might use a little bit of yellow ochre. We've got some sap green and some Mars black. Any other variations of these colors will work just fine, you guys. You don't have to have these exact ones. And let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to begin with my large blending brush. It's a little bit damp, but you definitely don't want it to be dripping with water. I'm going to take my light ultramarine blue, and I'm just going to do a line above, just above the halfway mark. So I'm just going to pull this across the canvas, working my way up. I'm going to add a little bit of phthalo blue now, and I'm going to go up on the top, blending softly as I go along. And let's just sneak right under there. Okay, so now while I have this big brush in this color, I'm going to apply some underpainting of little shadows, maybe coral reefs here in the water. So if you saw my last video, which I'll leave a link for, you'll see this process, and this is really cool when you're not sure how to paint water and how to get those, make it look like there's shadows in the water. This is the trick. You just do a darker layer, and it doesn't even have to be this color. You can use, depends what's under the water. If it's more yellow coral or pink coral, then you can apply that underneath too. I just really like to stick with my light ultramarine blue and my phthalo blue, especially the light ultramarine blue. It's quite complementary to the green that we're going to be using. Okay, so I'll just kind of play around here. I might take some of this off. I'm just demonstrating. I always like to do a little bit more when I'm demonstrating in my videos so you guys can get the most, and you learn the best by watching. Okay, so I'm going to just completely wash that brush out. I'm going to go over to my liner brush and just right in here kind of clean this up a little bit where maybe that large brush created some brush strokes and little marks that I don't specifically want and don't look like won't really look like shadows in the water. So it's easy to manipulate the paint around while it's still kind of wet like this. And while that's drying, let's go ahead and start adding some clouds. So we're going to use our Filbert brush. Of course, you can use any brush that you might feel comfortable using for clouds. I like this one because it has a rounded end to it, and I can make all those fluffy looking clouds. So I'm simply just painting wet on wet, creating this light shadowy tone underneath. I'm going to go back for some more, and it's on the very bottom of my brush like this, and I'm going to lightly dab and kind of just smear it around. Not pushing too hard. Now the beauty of painting wet on wet is that your acrylics will act like oils, the blending aspect. They'll still dry quite quickly, a little slower, especially if you're keeping your studio or your workspace a little bit cooler. So many of you guys ask me that. That's probably the most asked question. How do I work with my acrylics? Because whenever you guys are using acrylics, you find that they dry too fast. If you're outside in the warm weather, yes, that does happen, and it's been a challenge for me in the past, you know, setting up for markets or art fairs. Having a little spray bottle, having a slow drying medium can help you. So I'm just gonna add clouds wherever I want, and then add a little bit more white to them where I want them to be brighter. Using that round and to create little loops and fluffy clouds. Let's just add a little bit. Coming in on the side like this. And I talk about clouds a lot in my videos because over the years I've been instructing art classes for 17, maybe a little more than 17 years, and in a classroom setting. So most of my students have been really intimidated and frustrated with painting clouds, and the best thing you can do is just think less is more. Don't think about every single cloud you're painting. Just slap on that paint, blend it a little bit, forget about it, and don't just focus on every single cloud as, does this look like a cloud? I need to, like, you know, people just work too hard and overthink their clouds way too much, to the point of they're just not enjoying themselves anymore. And you really don't want to feel like that. You want to enjoy yourself. Enjoy the flow of the paint and the brush. Lose yourself in it. By adding little bits of white here and there on wet paint, we're creating new tones, right? Lighter purples, and when I say purple, it's because this light ultramarine blue has a purple hue to it. It's a really beautiful blue, and I am addicted to using it. It's my go-to, as well as the phthalo blue. Phthalo's a really lovely one too. So you make all these different colors, and then I just picked up, working up here, I picked up some phthalo. I come back down here, and I start blending it in, without even really trying, and creating more. I'm going to take a little bit more of my phthalo blue now, and go right on this horizon. Just put our horizon line right in here. I just picked up a little bit of water to help my paint flow a little bit better. Just like that. I'm going to wash my brush out now. Soften that up a little bit. And you see how cool this looks when you can create sort of a bow like this. Now back to my clean, large blending brush. I'm going to lightly sweep, make this look blurry. You don't want everything in your paintings to be completely the same focus, right? You need to have something out of focus. So here I want the background to be softer and blurrier. Now I might come back in here and add some more white and do that again. I'm still wanting this to dry a little bit more, and that's great because I need that time to build up my sky a little bit more. I just want to add a little bit more white in here. I'm just gonna create little loops and scoops like this. Okay, my brush is clean again, and sweep. This time again. Still a little bit wet, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry this off with my hair dryer, and then we'll go over with the turquoise. Now we're ready to add our turquoise water. So with the same large blending brush, I'm going to get that turquoise on my brush, pull in both sides, and I'm going to start with a line right back there, partially over that blue. That's why we have that blue blended down a little bit. Take a little tiny bit of water, a little bit of white on the tip, just the tiniest bit, and very lightly brushing over. You can choose a few spots if you want them to be a little bit darker, like right in here. I think I'll make this a little bit darker. You know, what's really nice about this painting we're doing today too is that this green, of course green and red, green and pink are very complementary. So with this mint turquoise color underneath against that magenta and neon pink, this painting is really going to pop and be very cheerful and satisfying to look at. So I really like the way that looks, although I want to have just a little bit more of a lighter tone in here. So I'm going to take a bit of my white and I'm just going to very subtly pull in a little bit right there. Kind of just gives that kind of creamy, dreamy softness of the sand underneath. Makes it look even extra shallow right there, and that's a really pretty aspect of the ultimate beach. In my mind, that's kind of my dream beach and water. One that doesn't have a lot of waves and it's just really calm and soft and tranquil looking like that. I'm going to take a bit more white now that the sky is pretty much all dry. I'm going to blend it out again, but I just want some little bit more white in here. Get my large blending brush out again. Using just the corner right here of my brush, and just tap in a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to start with my liner brush for the flowers, and I'm going to take green, yellow ochre, and a little bit of black. So I'm not mixing them together, I just added a little drop of each on there, and I'm going to begin from here, right from the edge there, pulling lightly, kind of twirling my brush. Get those colors again. Pull down right in here, we're going to have a leaf. So we'll just slightly kind of just outline right there. Remember, we're going to have some little stems. And then there's another one down here. Comes out like that. Well, something just like that. Let's take, we've got all those colors in there again. Let's just take those, maybe a little bit of our yellow. So a little bit of the green, tiny bit of black, yellow ochre, and yellow. And let's line our brush up like that. Push, wiggle, and let off. And maybe let's add another one there. Push, let off, push, wiggle, let off. Let's put one right there. Maybe we've got one right down there. So the Filbert is a really great brush to use. Take a bit of white with our yellow. Brighten these up slightly, adding that nice bit of highlight in there. Let's try this one again. Sometimes you can get it right away, and sometimes you have to wait till the paint dries a little bit. Okay. Push, twist. And let's go down here and add a few. I'm going to add a little bit more. It's a bit darker down here, so I'm going to add a little bit more of my black and green. There's a bit of a shadow. We've got a little leaf coming in here. There's something here on the side. This is going to be full of flowers, so we're not going to have too many leaves showing. Let's come in with our flowers. So we're going to be using neon pink. And isn't this sad? This is the last little bit of neon pink by my whole bean. Unfortunately, they're completely sold out. They don't know when they're gonna, I can't even place an order because they don't even know when they're gonna be able to get more. So if you guys have this right now, you're super lucky. So I'm gonna take a dab of each, white, neon, red, and pink. I'm just gonna begin right up here at the top. Lots of little dabs. You're going to need that white in there in order to make your colors really stand out. Otherwise they're just going to fade into that blue sky. And and they're not going to show up. So you have to have a little bit of white in with your brush. So white, pink, neon red. Add some down here. I'm gonna have to go back and really try to squeeze out the last little bit of pink after I do this layer. So of course I'm not able to get any more whole beans, so for my fluorescent neon red I'm using Liquitex. And it's really nice. Of course nothing beats my whole bean, you guys know that's my favorite, absolute favorite. Go right down, I'm going to pick up, add a little bit more red in here. So clean my brush off, I've got all that white out of there. I'm going to take this magenta now, take a little bit of that neon red, a really beautiful color here, get it on the tip of my brush, and start adding little lines of it very lightly. So this will make our colors, those bright colors, stand out even more. You've got to have a balance. They have to play on each other. You need light and shadow. Okay, I'm going to go back to my little liner brush and add a little bit more of a, I'm just going to add a branch in there, twisting and pulling. And outline a little bit if you want, a few bit areas. Pick up some of that green. And just add the indication that there's some leaves in there. And I'm just going to outline a few of these flowers. A little shadow right in there. I'm going to take a scoop of those colors again. magenta, neon red. Just add a little bit right there. Add a little bit more up in here too. And I think it would look really nice, and I didn't plan on this, but I'd love to have just a little sailboat way back there. What do you guys think? You're either yelling at me through the screen right now, or you're saying, yep, go for it. Well, I am gonna go for it. But first I'm just gonna add a little bit more light yellow, white to these leaves. Still just using my liner brush here. It's just a little bit too black. We need a little bit of light hitting it right in there. So we'll put it right back here. We're going to do one line, and then we're going to do one scoop like that. Put a bit of water on my brush. I'm going to take a little bit of my light ultramarine blue for a shadow. A little bit more white for a highlight. Very subtle. And a little scoop and a line along the bottom. We'll have a little bit of a highlight underneath there. Take a little bit of our phthalo blue. Very, very light, barely there kind of outline. Shadow on either side. A little bit more of that white. And I want to take some light ultramarine blue again and do that shadow in the water, because I like the layering and the color that it makes when you add this blue over that one. Couple little lines in there. So for my last highlight on my boat, taking a little bit of yellow, a little bit of neon red, mixing it with some white, tinting it a little bit, making like this light peach color, which is complementary to the purpley blue. Just a little like that. And then for highlight in the water, take a little bit more of my light ultramarine blue here. So this painting is all done, you guys. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I wish I could actually be out in that sailboat right now with a cocktail and enjoying myself and the view. But until then, I'm just going to keep painting places that I'd like to escape to. So come and escape with me each week for a new tutorial, and I'll see you guys very soon in another video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, help to support it and help it grow. Each comment, like, and subscriber I get helps to put my video out into the world a little bit more on YouTube. So thanks guys for all of your support. Thank you to all my patrons, and I'll see you next time. Bye.